Hey everyone, and welcome to day one of the Mindful Shift 10-day challenge for paramedics and nurses. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's Michael, and today we're talking about our sphere of influence or our local environment and how this actually affects our general well-being and our overall happiness as well. So before we get into the topic of day one, I just wanted to cover a couple of things that you actually need in order to complete this 10 days. So the first thing is you'll need a journal. And a journal can just be a notepad. So just a blank notepad that you're willing to write on. That's something that maybe you can carry around with you as well. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. The second thing that I need from you is commitment. And commitment to 15 to 20 minutes minimum just for your own personal growth every single day. So 15 to 20 minutes. And I know some of you will cringe at that and think, oh, I don't even have any time. I have no time left at the moment. My life's so crazy. I work shifts, and let me tell you something. Back in 2017, when I was going through a highly stressful time, at that point I was actually giving out my energy to everything and everyone around me. So I was basically thinking that I'm going to be as efficient as possible if I'm filling every minute of every day with some sort of task or ticking off a box that I needed to do for the day. So this could be something like, I don't know, maybe putting a post up for our not-for-profit, or checking emails, or maybe checking work emails, and it just continues on, and there's always tasks that need to be done. But what actually followed was me obviously having some form of a meltdown and not being able to regulate myself. So what I actually found was, once I'd actually come crashing down, I had no choice but to have a look at changing some of the things. So in order to get a different result, we need to change some of the structures in our day-to-day habits. So one of the first things that I changed was I actually allocated some time to my personal growth. Now this just started in the mornings, so I didn't have any extra time, or I didn't think I had any extra time. So what I did was I started to get up a little bit earlier, so just 15 minutes earlier. And that's something that maybe you can do if you feel that you do not have the time or the space at the moment to do some of these activities. So grab yourself a journal and allocate 15 to 20 minutes and be okay for the next 10 days in just saying no and standing your ground and saying, no, this is my time. I know that you will reap the benefits if you just continue to instill those habits into your day. All right, let's get into day one. So this is all about awareness of our environment. Okay, so one of the elements that actually affect us negatively or positively in our own personal environment, obviously, are people. So, this could be family members, it could be extended family, it could be work colleagues, other friends or acquaintances. But like it or not, we're going to be around people, and especially as nurses and paramedics, we're always going to be around people. And so some people have a negative influence on us, and some people have a positive influence on us and actually lift us up. So I'm not asking you to separate yourself from certain people, all right? I'm not asking you to do that at all. This exercise is all about awareness and just starting to gain awareness of what's in your environment and how it actually influences your mood, how you feel, and your general overall happiness. So that's all we're looking to do. So have a look at the people that are around you and just take note. So the other thing that might be within your environment could be your actual workplace and what happens at work. And most people kind of, it's not exactly a passion of theirs to go to work every day, and that's perfectly fine. Say if that is the case and you're feeling that there is a lot of elements of your work that negatively impact how you feel, What we're looking to do is we're looking to target, the top 2 or 3 things that actually influence you in a negative way. And if you can find some positive things at work too, that would be awesome. So in my case, I was heavily affected by fatigue. So personally, in my role and where I was working as a paramedic, I was heavily affected by fatigue, and that was the biggest influential factor or factor that was affecting me negatively. One interesting fact is that the World Health Organization classified night shift work as a probable carcinogen back in 2007 because its disruption to the body's circadian rhythm, which signals our cells to produce specific hormones at specific times based on a 24-hour day-night cycle, appears to have cancer-causing effects. I'm not telling you this to scare you. We all know the effects of shift work and how it actually affects our health. I'm telling you this because it was a part of my life and what was happening at a particular time. Obviously, working really heavy workloads, at nights and doing shift work, and the implications of that were starting to affect my health. And I'd identified this. I'd become aware of this as a negative effect on my own personal well-being. And so, if we are to go down this path, then I had to ask myself, if I'm going to be an exception to the rule, then I'll need to do something different to what everybody else is generally doing. So that's why my passion is directed at starting this program for all of you for free, just to help you to gain some awareness, obviously on some of the harmful effects of some of the work that we do, but more so how to empower you or to give you some tips as to how to curb those stats for you personally as well, so you can feel better, gain more vitality, and have way better mental well-being. So what are some other things that actually trigger you in a negative or a positive way? Maybe it's traffic, maybe it's media, maybe it's social media. Social media is actually one of the biggest threats to our own feeling of self-worth. See, people often go to social media just to help boost their self-esteem and to feel a sense of belonging in their social circles. People post content with the hope of receiving positive feedback. Couple that content with the structure of potential future reward, such as likes, and you get a recipe for constantly checking platforms. So again, this is all about just having an understanding of how much time obviously you spend on social media, but more importantly, how does it actually make you feel? How does it affect you? Ask those deep questions. Are you actually addicted to it? And certainly I've had addictions to social media in the past. But what I have found is because I initially gained that awareness of where it was sucking all my attention, I was able to then recognize that and have that awareness, and then from that point make decisions to sort of separate myself from it. So where else do you get triggered? We're looking at the media as well. So, do you listen to or watch the news? All of this stuff is negative. All of that is negative, and I can say that wholeheartedly because fear sells. And if one news network is only going to sell positive news, they're just going to get absolutely washed out by the other news companies because they're going to be having big, scary headlines in comparison. So I suggest for the next 10 days, if you do a bit of a detox on the media side of things, that would be awesome as well. So that's pretty much it. It's just really gaining awareness of your influences around you at this point in time. And this is so that we can set a real foundation, or your root network, so that you can feel more grounded, and it's going to give you more of an opportunity to build on some of the modalities that I'm going to be introducing to you in the following days. So make sure you complete the activity in your journal, and this will be the first thing. It's really, really important to do this. So if you can write down at least 3 positive influences in your day-to-day life and 3 negative influences in your day-to-day life, write them down in a journal. Make sure nobody sees them, especially if you're putting people's names down. Try not to put people's names down, but if you have to, that's totally fine. Just keep it to yourself. And in day 2, we're actually going to be going over something a little bit more in depth, and something that's actually quite exciting and is potentially quite life-changing, and has been for a heck of a lot of people. So looking forward to seeing you in day 2, and make sure you have a great day. Cheers, guys.